Hello.
Hello.
Well, to anyone that's coming in. Right, what I'll do is I'll just do a bit of sharing while I've got a chance. It's a nightmare, isn't it, Ian? Absolute nightmare tonight.
It is.
It's not been good.
Technology at its best.
Definitely not.
A wee
Come
bit
on.
And everything goes to pot.
Yep. All right, can we get that on? I don't want to do that. Come on, what's wrong with you? There. Only got to do this one and it should be fine. Yeah, we're done. We've got it. Oh, at last, you know. Thank you very much. Right, I don't know how many we're going to get in, if any at all. Or if anyone's got one in, if you can tell us who you are. We'd be mighty appreciative.
Is it Eric or is it Rita?
It's not coming up yet with who it is. Don't know. No names. No names. Oh, we've got two in, but we're not getting the comments up, are we?
No.
Lordy Lord. Let's go on to here, see if we can find out who it is. No. No, I don't know. It's not coming up on here either, so not to worry. What's a nightmare, isn't it, Ian?
It is.
Technology nightmare. Anyway, Ian.
Oh.
Well, we've got to change the subject this week because Ian agreed to come on. It's Phil. Hi, Phil. You all right? Thanks a lot, Phil. That's good of you. Yeah, we was going to have a topic tonight, but Ian said he could come on tonight, so we're doing the interview tonight, and we'll do the topic next week. The topic that we put off a few weeks ago before Christmas, I think. Anyway, Ian, tell us what you've been up to all week.
Well, I've been up to this week. Oh, not a lot.
Not a lot.
A lot. But yeah, I mean, we had some recent activity in the house, which stems from a while ago. We had activity in the house, which turned out to be a man who was looking for a necklace. Previously lived here, and we sort of limited down to where this necklace could be. But as I'm in the process of decorating it,
oh, this is going to be a nightmare. I just know it.
That was probably him. No,
yeah.
I said I would look for the necklace. Anyway, that was probably a couple of months back. And this week, a female made an appearance. Obviously, the other half of this guy, who turns out to be a lot stronger. She's got poltergeist abilities. She certainly made her presence known. But she was quite blown up about the technology in the house, which was quite funny. And she couldn't work out. I was talking to somebody else on a device I had in my hand, and she could see them. She's quite blown away by the TV as well. But I happened to mention, that she's obviously got poltergeist abilities, and I've got a stack of wood over in the corner because working on the house, and she moved the stack of wood. literally
That's
lifted
just.
it up, leaning off the wall, and then dropped it back down again, which was quite dramatic. But
I bet she was looking at thinking, what's he doing with this in my house?
yeah, probably. But at least solved the mystery of who painted out, because I stripped the banisters a while ago and repainted them. And when I stripped them down, they were all painted multicoloured. But obviously, she was a hippie, so
Yeah.
now I know.
Yeah, I think in the older houses, you'll find that anyway, won't you? You're going to come across all sorts. Hello, William.
All right. She, yeah, so it comes about she was a bit of a hippie, and at least I know who painted the banisters that colour. But, very bizarre. But, yeah, I've sort of let her know that I will be looking for this necklace, wherever it may be. We've got a possible idea where it might be, but it means taking the floorboards up in the bedroom. But...
Hey, can you imagine though if you do find it? That'd be like, whoa.
That'd be very mind blowing. But I was told that it's possibly not valuable, but something symbolic. And I think, well, if she's a hippie, it's like
sentimental.
Yeah, it's going to be like a peace symbol on a chain or something.
Yeah.
But
what are you going to do with it if you do find it? I mean, what would you do with it?
Well, I said I'll just hang it on the wall so they know it's there, and if they wish to take it, if they
and keep coming back seeing it, and then they can leave you alone after that.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that? I wonder, because you mentioned technology, I wonder when Smart Chat devices, that will be next tech move. Wonder if entities will be picked up. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Can you imagine just doing something on it, picking everything up? That would be very, very strange, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, as you know, as you well know me and my views on the on tech. I mean, I think the area we need to go into is frequencies.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It would be absolutely brilliant if somebody could design a device that could tell you what frequency a particular spirit is talking in, and then you can tune a radio to that exact frequency, and you can have
and pick it up. Yeah,
this is where when you're using spirit boxes and it's going, you're getting the odd word here and there. Because it's only for a slight second, you're on that.
Yeah, it's on that frequency. Yeah, it scans frequency, doesn't it? Yeah, so it's in and out, in and out, in and out. Yeah.
So if we had a way of being able to say exactly what frequency they're speaking on, which is going to be different every bloody time, which ain't helpful, but there you go. Because over the years I've been investigating, it's always different devices that are picking them up. Sometimes it can be my GoPro, sometimes it can be my cameras, sometimes it can be the audio devices, and even then I've got 3 different audio devices which will pick one thing up and the other thing won't pick anything up. So it's obviously the frequency range is changing every time you're communicating with a different spirit.
Wouldn't it be brilliant to have some form of equipment that picked up everything?
Yeah, I mean, if you could get there, say, can you speak? And then a device will tell you what frequency it's picking up. And then you go, right.
Yeah.
I know now to tune in. I've got hack radio as well. You can just turn that to whatever frequency. Boom. Job done. But I think it'll be quite a way ahead before we'll be able to get something like that.
Oh, definitely. William says, funny you mentioned frequencies. I have a large collection of incense and herbs too. Oh, not fragrances. Not fragrances, William. Frequencies. Not smellies. We all love the smellies. But,
I and other colleagues have had this frequency thing in their head for a long time, and I know other investigators are doing other projects using frequencies as a, to trigger what they're doing. I mean, perfect example where Steve Mira and Barry Fitzgerald are doing Project Doorway, which they are using frequencies to try and open doorways. So
yeah, well, that's a way forward, I think, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, and they've had some good results apparently. So
yeah, I mean, look at mediums and psychics. That's what they pick up on. They pick up on frequency, don't they?
well, yeah, they can hear in a different frequency to what normal people
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, so some form of equipment that can just pick up on that would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it?
And I saw well, actually, it was a documentary that a friend of mine, Don Phillips, is in. The guy used a sonar detector and actually heard the spirit's voice that Don communicates with.
Yeah.
So obviously, a sonic is just outside the human frequency range, isn't it? So that's obviously a good device to have.
I always do you remember the old Wii's, the first ones that came out? When you'd be playing one, did you ever notice that it'd pick up another player enters the room and there was no one there?
Yeah, well, that's how the SSL got designed, wasn't it? Because somebody was playing their Xbox and it kept triggering. There was another player in the room.
Yeah.
And the guy got onto a friend of his online and said, it keeps triggering another player. And he said, well, the camera sees in infrared. He said, if you go into the settings and see what the infrared camera is seeing, it will show you a picture. And he said, basically, you should see yourself and then see what's triggering the other figure. And as he went into the settings and flip the camera and change it to what is the infrared seeing, he saw another figure stood behind him, and then it stepped out.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's how it became used as a spirit. So it was an accidental occurrance.
William, this is interesting because not many ghosty people much about the attraction or the effect with certain scents or ghosts and spirits.
Well, if you use something, it's a trigger object, isn't it? You can attract certain people by a smell they were used to. It can also make them more comfortable with communicating if you're giving them something they found quite comforting.
Yeah. Oh well, smells you get associated with them anyway, don't you? I mean, every now and again you get a scent of violets.
Yeah, and
that's probably from the old lady that passed away downstairs. So
yeah, I always get if my grandmother's around and she wishes me to know she's around, I will smell lavender because that's what I always associate with her. So
yeah, I can remember when my gran died. She used to have a massive garden, but it was full of blossom trees. And when she passed away, the smell in the house was something else. It was thick.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wasn't that one person. Everyone could smell it. So that's how we knew that she'd passed away.
I mean, my mum's grandfather always used to smoke a pipe. And I remember once when I was a kid, we were on our way to London and we were belting it up the motorway, window shut, and then suddenly the car filled with the smell of pipe tobacco. And my dad just looked at my mum and said, "That's your grandfather, isn't it?" And she went, "Yeah."
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's okay. It's them, don't you? Yeah, very, very strange. Have you ever had have you ever seen a relative? Have you had a relative visit you?
Yes, many times. I've actually got photographic evidence of two.
Right. Oh, that's good.
I was with Colin Fry. My brother took a photo of me standing with Colin, and my grandmother's in the background.
Wow.
And, my wedding is another one. Me and my wife were stood under an archway. The photographer took about 20 pictures, which none of them ever came out, which was peculiar. And she said they were all blurry, but a guest took a picture from the side at an angle, and you can clearly see my grandfather's face kissing me on the cheek.
Wow.
So I told the photographer,
Amazing, isn't it?
I sent it to the photographer and said, "This is why you couldn't get a picture, because you were taking it through him." So,
No, I can't honestly say that I've ever really noticed.
I think
But I did have a reading. I did have a reading done. Not last week, the week before. And some of the stuff that she told me was it's quite unbelievable, to be honest with you. Because I've got that little dog now, and he would bring it in his bedroom. It's always barking. It always barks at the end of the bed.
Yeah.
So she said to me, "You do have somebody who passed away who does come and stands at the end of the bed." Which is quite weird because that's where the dog barks.
Mm. Yeah, I always say to clients, always trust your kids and animals.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I say
it's a bit of a pain in the ass actually because it just never stops barking.
Yeah, if your kids are telling you something or the pets are acting a bit weird, then yeah, take notice of it.
That's William saying. Oh, sorry. Feces is so easily dismissed by ghost hunters in favour of the latest technology, and yet incenses have been around for decades by the ancients in the use of attracting spirits. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as you say ghost hunters, you're almost saying entertainment crowd. But paranormal investigators are more. What could we will try all sorts of things to get a resolve to an issue. Especially me being private case. My basic intention, hello, Laurie. My basic intention at the end of the day is to resolve the problem. So we will try all sorts to get answers, resolves, and then so we're not just looking at getting evidence, we're looking at solving the problem. So that's where we differ from ghost hunters. So we will try methods like that. If someone in the house has got an idea who it might be and a certain thing was associated with them, then do that certain thing and see if it gets a reaction.
Yeah.
And then you know who you're dealing with if it's a particular person. And then a lot of times if it's that person in particular, the problem's going to be resolved, because if it's a family member that's just trying to get attention, job done.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to think that, everything that came was actually a family member or something, but you just don't know, basically. I mean, you've got your attached to where you've got Crowley.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've had two psychic mediums lately turn around and tell me he's sort of a guide to me, which I don't know whether I feel good about that or what. But, and they said, I should pay attention to him. Okay, yeah.
How can you not? If he wants you to, you won't have much of a choice, do you, really?
He has made himself known when I've been at locations that are associated with him, and he's not shy in doing that either. He did. We were at Michelin Priory, and we were doing the automatic writing, and as everybody else that was doing it walked away. Just at the last minute, I got the letters AC came out. And I said to my cameraman, guess who's here? And he went, oh, right, okay. And then we were in the next room. We were in the barn area where they do weddings and that. And there used to be an 8-foot round table in there, big, heavy oak table. And we were all sitting around that. And the medium that was there turned around and said, there's a guy here, blah, 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 I'm talking away. And then he mentioned about 10 minutes later, he goes, he said, I'm getting quite a more negative person walked in. And I thought, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
The table moved 1.5 foot in 2 directions, 20 minutes.
Wow.
And I just looked at my cameraman and I said, you know who that was? And he went, yeah.
Yeah. William says, maybe I'm giving too much away here. No, we need to give a bit more away, William.
I know. You got to educate them, William.
Yeah.
Got to educate. Educating people's part of the game.
Eric!
Oh, Eric, you're a bit late in the game.
So have you got anything? I mean, I know you do private investigations. Have you got any planned? I mean, not to tell us out like that, but have you got any in the planning?
Not as yet, because this is the quiet time of the year. It usually goes quiet about beginning of November, and then it's usually about February time we start to get stuff coming.
Yeah.
So this is our quiet spell, which is quite nice.
Yeah, bit of peace and quiet. Well, not in your house, but
yeah, not in my house. No.
Rita.
Hello, Rita. Yeah. And the most annoying thing is the wife wants to witness stuff and she's never here when it happens.
You'll have to get cameras going. You just got to.
Yeah, I'm going to have to set stuff up, aren't I?
Yeah, so you can show her when she gets back home.
But yeah, we've had some interesting stuff on events lately as well. I had my chain turned round.
Mm.
It happened 3 times. My chain got moved up my neck, and the 3rd time somebody saw it happen. And when I got home, went to take my chain off, and it was back to front. And I said, "That's physically impossible."
Yeah.
So how has that happened? I did try and work it out, but I thought I'd give up on that one because that's physically impossible. I would have had to take it off, turn it round, and put it back on again.
Eric says he thinks whatever it is, it just likes you, Ian.
Well, the problem, the thing is, if you're in this game, you have to expect it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It always makes me laugh when you see people on TV and that. They ask for something to happen, and then when it does, they run out of the room screaming. It's like
yeah, I've seen many of them do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? You've just asked for it to happen, and they've given you.
And then now you scream. Maybe they get a laugh. Who knows? I bet spirits stand there laughing. I bet they can't stop laughing.
I guarantee they do. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. They're going to be the same in death as they are in life, and if they had a sense of humor, they'll find that incredibly amusing.
Definitely, yeah. So, have you got anything location-wise, maybe planned out or upcoming?
Not as such yet. Oh, hang on. Yeah, in March we're off to. There's a place called the Mint House in a place called Pevensey, which is near Eastbourne. I've been trying to get in there for years, and a local events team that I'm very good friends with, he actually managed to get the place.
Oh, man.
So there's been reports about this place for years. There's a woman that's been seen walking through the building. And she's actually been seen coming out the front door and then disappearing. But there has been, over the years, there have been many businesses there, and none of them succeed because it's as if what's there doesn't like what's anything being there.
Oh, Eric says you wanted the ancient ramen. Yeah, that'd be a place to go.
Oh yeah, I've always, that's always been on my list. There's many places on my list. Waverley Hill Sanitarium is a big one on my list. But
oh yeah, I think anywhere like that would be like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to get over there and meet up with Brian J. Cano and do that. I think.
Yeah.
We have talked about doing a road trip.
Yeah.
But he knows the places better than me over there, so I would judge his where we should go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, plenty of places to go.
But I mean, Eric, when you come to the UK, there are a lot of places here. I mean, on a lot of investigators in the UK, the ancient Ram isn't really that high up on their list. I know it's one that gets featured a lot and gets talked about a lot, obviously, in America. And I think another one's 30 East Drive. But I think with 30 East Drive, it depends on when you go there.
Yeah, definitely. Eric, he went, "Ooh, if you do go into the border, shoot solo."
Oh yeah. If you knew me personally, a lot of people will tell you I'm absolutely fearless when it comes to the paranormal. I think growing up in a haunted house, you get completely used to it all. If someone says there's a demonic entity somewhere, I'll be the first one to grab a camera and run in.
Yeah, I'm going to find that.
I mean, I've had a couple of instances when I've walked into something that's quite menacing, and it's time to walk away. I'm fearless, but I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
But
See, a lot of people think that you can't come across things like that, though, don't they? They're very wrong.
You've got to stand your ground.
Yeah.
But if you get the sense that it's time to walk away, walk away. It's just survival instinct kicking in.
Yeah. Fight or flight. Run.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just dealing with a malevolent spirit that's just being a pain in the butt, just stand your ground with them. And be respectful as well at the same time. It's if you disrespect something, they're going to disrespect you without even thinking about it. So,
yeah.
At least if you act respectful for them, you might get it back. But yes, always go.
I'm looking at a few for this year. Well, at some point this year, I'm going on a couple.
I expect I'll be at the True Crime again this year. I'll see when Barry's back down, and I'll probably go back there again. But yes, every time we go there, it seems to get better. But
I've heard quite a lot about that place. It just people do seem to like it, don't they?
And of course, it's another place that Crowley's associated with. So, although out of all the times I've been there, he's only made an appearance once.
Eric, people take this far too long. Yeah, in some cases they do. You go in winding. I mean, you get people going in winding them up. I don't see the point in doing that.
Never taught. You don't know what you're dealing with.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, you do not know what's there and what it's capable of. So going in and being taunting is not a smart idea. That's not the smartest thing you can do. You got to remember they're not physical. They're things they can do that we're restricted. We can't do. So.
Oh yeah. I don't believe in using provocation and winding them up. I don't. It's not helpful whatsoever at all.
I mean, I might get a bit short with one if one's getting a bit with me. I'll, give it to me. I'll give it back. But It's always treat them with respect, and if
Yeah.
they get a bit bolshy with you, just say, well, get a bit bolshy back, but don't overstep the mark.
Mm. I've seen people, like on, if you've watched it on, and not personally, I've not seen it done, but like you watch and they're winding them up and winding them up, and eventually something's going to pop.
Oh yeah. One day you'll come across the wrong one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
As you do. As you say, of life, as in life, as in death. That's
exactly.
yeah.
And you
You're
don't
gonna
know
come
how,
across somebody who had a very bad temper.
well, yeah. I mean, you don't know how long they've been there and what they've learnt to do.
No,
Because
exactly.
as a spirit, they can. Someone dies. Within the first year or so, they're not going to be able to do a lot because they wouldn't have learned how to do a lot. But
No,
if you're coming across someone who's been dead 100 years and they've learned every trick in the book, well, you might be dicing with stupidity there if you're going and taught, especially if they weren't a nice person in life. But
have you ever been anywhere, Ian, where anything's actually had a go at you?
yeah, I've got. We did a case. Cool. How many years ago was it? It was quite a few. Probably about 10 years ago. Still to this day, it was our most active case. We went to a property that we found out had 35 ghosts in it.
God.
Apparently, the house was built on the grounds of an old children's workhouse, and the two people that ran it weren't very nice. They actually trapped the child spirits there and were using them as a source of energy to carry on being assholes, basically. But I actually got stabbed in the back by one of them.
Eric wants to know what light is flashing in the corner. Must be in your corner. He's on about it.
Oh, yeah, I can see it. There's a candle over there. It's probably reflecting off the wall. But so I got stabbed in the back, which at the time shocked me, and I just started laughing, which was probably the best reaction I could have had. I had no physical marks, but I actually felt it hurt for 2 weeks after. So,
Right. Well.
and unfortunately, we had our medium was in the other room, and we had a medium on FaceTime as well, and she just shouted across, "Ian, knife," and my medium said, "Too late, it's just happened." So I said, "Yeah, thanks for the late warning," but there you go.
Is there anywhere that you would never go back to again?
No, I don't think I've ever come to a place that I wouldn't go back to. I might go back there in caution, but
You'd still go back. Like I said, I mean, you're not worried about it. It doesn't matter, does it?
I know where there's something that people would class as demonic. Well, there's actually two I know of. I know where they are. Would I go back? Yeah, I would go back, but I wouldn't probably arouse their attention on purpose.
Yeah.
But the one place I really do intend going back to is the house I grew up in. So at some point, I will get back there. Don't know when, but I've been told by mediums in the past I will go back. They actually described the interior of the house and said, "I see you there, young and older." So
It'd be fascinating, really, though, wouldn't it, to go back and just find out if anyone else had experienced anything in the house.
I know the property was quite a big house. It was divided into 5 flats. And we lived in the Masonette one, which was up on the upper 2 floors, where most of the activity was. But there was activity in other parts of the building. I know the elderly couple that moved in after we moved out. The woman actually spoke to my mum on the bus once and said, "Did you notice any weird things happening there?" And my mum sort of looked at her and said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I was sitting on the bed one day reading a book," and she said, "A little boy come up to me and said, 'Is it all right if I play here?' And she said, having grandchildren, her mind didn't twig.
Yeah.
It's fine as long as you don't make any noise." And she looked down at her book and then suddenly thought, "Who's that?" Looked up and he was gone.
Wow. Good God.
I think while we were there, we had a count up. There was probably about 9 ghosts there. And they used to get, because the grounds of the house were quite vast. A lot of what is now known as Hastings was built on the grounds of the house originally. So even the place I work is actually on the grounds of the house. So people used to see other things in the neighbourhood and that, people, weird figures walking through their fences and things like that. And it was all associated with the house I grew up in. So it'd be interesting because we had a stable outside the house, a stable building. And we used to hear horses on the driveway, which was gravel.
Wow. Yeah.
Every now and again, we'd hear horses on it. They've actually, that stable, they've now actually built a house.
Oh, right. Imagine that clippity clop through the house all night.
It'd be interesting to speak to them. What happened?
Can you imagine that clippity clop through your house all night? That'd drive me insane, wouldn't it?
Well, we only used to hear it outside. You come out the front door and you do like hoofs on the gravel, and every now and again you'd hear, and you're like. But other people who came round to visit would witness stuff like that.
Yeah.
We used to acknowledge him all the time, but it was someone used to walk in the front door and it was like hobnail boots going up the staircase. And it used to happen at least once a week. And the funny thing is, John Logie Baird stayed there for a while because he then moved into Queen's Arcade in Hastings, where he did a lot of experiments. But when he first moved into the town, he was staying at the house.
Right.
Because at some point it was a hotel. And perhaps he was doing experiments there, which might be a reason why the activity level's higher.
If there was one place, whatever, around the world that you could pick that you would really would be your number one spot, where would it be?
I used to say Waverley Hills, but I'm quite intrigued. There's is it Heritage Square in New York? Where they've got like a collection of about 6 or 7 house properties that are haunted, that they've put in the same close.
Mm.
Jack Osborne and his sister went there.
Right, I don't know about that. I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's called Heritage Square. It's got like a church. There's an Octagon building, and there's about 4 other houses, and they're all active. I think I'd really like to go and do that.
That would be some trip, wouldn't it? Worth doing.
Yeah, that would really be worth doing.
I mean, I don't like really going like paying for things, but I think this year I might be.
Yeah, your mic keeps going off, by the way.
I know. I'm just hoping that it just lasts till the end before it decides to bugger up again. I've had enough tech issues for one night.
But yeah, Heritage Square, I'd really like to do that because that intrigues me, the fact that they've put these buildings all in the same location. So yeah, that would be a very interesting place to visit.
Yeah, and it says that's fascinating. I want to dive deep into haunting. That includes animals.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few experiences with my wife's old cat. Every now and again, I see in the house, pure black shadow of a cat walking across the room. And although our cat is black and white, I know the cat's outside, so it's not him. But
oh, well, it says there's a lot of abandoned towns out south.
yeah, I think
yeah, that'd be good.
Heritage Square was perfectly put together. They use it as like a museum place. All the people's belongings are still in the houses, the furniture, etc., etc.
Oh.
So of course their energy's still going to be there, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Which just goes to show if you move the property, it's still haunted.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the inside, everything that's in it,
which funny enough,
something with it, doesn't it?
Which funny enough, I found out in was it the Kent Life Museum over here, which we went to an event on a few months back. One of the houses they moved to there, somebody went there, I think a couple of weeks before we did, and said, I remember that house when it was in my road, and she said it was haunted then. And people regularly catch this figure at the window. So
makes you wonder, doesn't it? Do you know, like you got all these houses like that get knocked down?
Yeah.
You've still got the foundations. Does it still carry in the foundations?
I think in the case of when you knock a house down, when they move the building, for instance, obviously the energy goes with it. But when you knock a place down, it's then stuck to the location, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So it won't matter what you put on it; it's still be there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, not all the time, but quite a lot of the time it happens.
Eric saying that. Yes, there's a few places like that where they moved a whole town on their property. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't happen here, does it? We don't see that kind of thing here, do we?
No, we've just got abandoned villages. And that's, we've got that one at the Ministry of Defence own, isn't there? That they move people out of for doing army manoeuvres and that's quite active apparently. But they do allow you in there. So you're allowed to go there when they're not doing training things, and they'll actually open the gates to the town and tell you that there's nothing going on there, so you can go in. But if the army's there, you can't because they might shoot.
No, you got to allow it. Yeah, you wouldn't want to, would you?
So yeah, but at least they do advertise on the website whether the town you can get into it or not that day. So
it's like here now. I mean, you've got. I mean, there's not too many old abandoned properties anymore.
No,
like they used to be at one time. You could find them all over the place, but they're either knocked down or they've been turned into something else.
I always used to laugh because near where I used to live, there was a wood. And one part of the wood, there was this, everyone called it the haunted house because it was old and derelict and everybody used to be fearful of this place. And they would go, the haunted house. I used to just walk past it and people would say, how can you just walk past it, the haunted house? I said, because I'm going home to one. That place is less active than the one I live in, so why would I be bothered?
No, exactly. No, when you've got it all at home, you don't necessarily need to go anywhere else, do you? What was Eric saying? Eric said he's got to do that.
Oh yeah, I'll have to look up the name of this village for you.
Eric says he doesn't have to care if he has to buy a building, buy a ruin and build it.
Well, you could do that, I suppose.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of, I think the old thing we've got earlier is there's a lot of buildings have been knocked down where really bad stuff has been happened, you know.
Yeah, we had near me in a place called Henningly. There was a big asylum there. It's still part of the building up, but I know they knocked one part down and built a housing estate on it, which I've heard stories of people saying that they've seen figures walking through their back garden. Which is always nice, isn't it?
No wonder.
So yeah, it's and it's funny because I went over there to have a look, and although the church is still there, the cemetery seems to have disappeared, which is a bit daunting. You know, what have they built on the cemetery?
Yeah. I can't say I'm not really that, well, I suppose there are cemeteries that you can go to, you know, but I don't really. I mean, you can pick stuff up in cemeteries, but I would rather go into buildings, to be honest with you, and do stuff like that.
I find most cemeteries, I say most, might have, you know, the odd thing there.
Yeah.
But my cemetery, my local cemetery, is like a supermarket. And I think that's all to do with Crowley. But
yeah,
it's a very weird sense when you're up there. And I've taken mediums up there and they're just completely blown away by the fact that there's just spirits everywhere.
Mm.
And they think I'm joking when I say it's like a supermarket. And they walk in and they say, wow, you're spot on, it is.
That's a helpful hint. Invest in trap cams.
Yes, they're very handy.
Yeah, well, yeah, cameras. I mean,
sometimes you want them running 24/7, so it's sometimes with them trap cameras you miss things because the trap camera doesn't record until it's been triggered. So what might have triggered it, boom, gone.
Yeah, it was that fast. Yeah, you've got enough in it. You might have a blur. That's about all you're going to get in.
You're just getting the aftermath rather than actually catching what happened.
Well, I'm just looking forward to be able to do the railways when they change my shift eventually.
Yes, railways are an interesting, especially if you know there's been a lot of deaths on them.
Yeah. Yeah, we get all the trains in where I work, where you know they put them in our place because the investigators have to come and have a look what's going on.
Yeah, I know there's a few tunnels down my way where people have used the tunnel to jump out in front of the train. So yeah. There's definitely going to be something hanging around.
Yeah. After something traumatic like that, there's definitely going to be something there, isn't there?
Yes. It doesn't help by the fact there's obviously going to be blood in the ground, which is another stipulation.
Eric said he's visiting me at work. Of course you can, Eric. I'll snide you in.
Yeah, you can do her shift for her. She'll go home.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that, yeah. You'll get your IVs and all that, Eric. You'll be fine. Nobody will notice.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to keep you busy in the UK. But
All right, I never stop, will I?
no. I mean,
I think he said 6 months, didn't he? That he was there for. Like, we'd have to keep coming back.
I've been investigating over 30 years, and I've visited a lot of places, but you know, I've only touched a fraction of what's going on in this country. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could be at it. I mean, you never get around it in a lifetime, really, would you, when you think about it?
nah, you know, I often used to think, blimey, John Zaffis is the age he is, and he's still investigating. You know, I used to.
How old?
John Zaffis is in his 70s, isn't he?
God, yeah.
And you think, I used to look at him and think, blimey, you're still investigating. But now I'm thinking, well, yeah, of course he is. Because all the places in the UK, you'd never get to them.
No. Eric said he'll need a vacation after his vacation. Yeah, you will.
Definitely. You probably need a cleansing as well.
yeah, definitely. Oh, you definitely be bumping into some stuff, Eric.
Yeah, especially if you go to Kirk Friars Graveyard, yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go there myself, actually.
Yeah, amount of times I've been up to Scotland, I haven't got there yet.
Oh.
But, yes, the notorious nasty thing there. But yeah,
The last time I was in Scotland, it was like last week. I wanted to go and see the Devil's. Have you heard of the Devil's Pit?
Mm.
I was supposed to go there, but the weather was that bad, I couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, welcome to Scotland.
Which was just great, you know what I mean? Wrong time of year, but I'll go back and I'll go and visit it. It's where the devil was supposed to have stood and spoke to his followers.
Yeah, that should be Scotland, doesn't it?
I like Scotland. I think it's a brilliant place.
Yeah, it's funny considering I am Scottish, and it's probably the least place in the UK that I've investigated. But there you go.
It's usually the way that though, isn't it? Wherever you live, you don't seem to do it.
Well, I mean, living down in Hastings, I've done quite a lot here, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It used to be that all our private cases were here, but now we're further. We seem to be doing a lot Eastbourne, Halsham way. So yeah, it's getting interesting. Although we did a case up in London once, but that was to help somebody else out. But that's probably the furthest we've gone private case wise.
Yeah.
But
I got invited up to London actually. Who knows? I might even go myself because there's so much up there that you can go and look at.
oh yes, yeah, so much.
I mean, I've only ever spent 4 days there, but it's basically just tourist stuff we were doing.
Yeah, you can go and see my mate Russell Edwards and do the Jack the Ripper tour.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll take you to Jack the Ripper's, where Jack the Ripper used to live.
Yeah.
Since,
that's a place where you'll have to go, Eric. Definitely. You'll have to do that one.
Yes, since I think at the minute, although he proved several years ago who Jack the Ripper was, they're actually doing, I think they're filming, they're going to take it through as like a court proceeding because it's already been closed officially by the High Courts because they did know who Jack the Ripper was. The police did know, but there were reasons behind why they didn't say who he was, but he was dealt with.
Yeah.
And basically, Russell got DNA evidence and went to them and said, "Look, this is who I think Jack the Ripper is." And they went, "Yeah, you're right."
Yeah. Yeah, so they'd had him all that time, hadn't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So it was interesting to find out who it was, but it does make a lot of sense when you hear why he was stopped, and how, and the reasoning behind the killing stopping and what happened to him. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
But,
Right, we are now on 8 o'clock. So we'll have to go wrap it up for tonight. And thanks for coming on, Ian.
Very welcome. Always a pleasure.
It's been good. And for anyone who came in to watch tonight, thanks for coming along. And we'll be back next week. So hope to see you then.
And hopefully no technical issues.
Oh, no, don't. I'm trying to forget.
Yeah.
At least I can hear you now. Couldn't even hear you before.
So, yeah.
All right, so say goodnight for tonight and see you all next week.
See you all later.
Bye.